West Coast Avengers. West Coast Avengers.
There's only one mantra that you all need to know. That's that one over there. See Todd, bye Todd.
Are you ready? Good evening, everybody. Where's Ghost Avengers? Get the goddamn light out of my eye. No. Oh well. Oh well. Good evening, everybody. It's me. It's Dave, your blind bag salesman. Comic Tim should be here talking about, you know. Whoa, it sounded like him. That was weird. Let me try that again. Hold on. You should talk about Comic Tim, Dave. Whoa. What is going on here? Hi, everybody. It is my first show back in a while. I've been off a little bit, you know, been just chilling. Let me fix this. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Nope, that didn't do a damn thing. I hope everybody's well. Once I fix this, I'll look at the screen. Nope, I don't want it hanging out. I want it in. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, I'm just gonna put that down here. All right, let's say hello to some friends, and then we'll start talking. We'll start chatting. We'll start chilling. How's the volume? How's everything sound? How am I doing? You don't have to wait anymore, Christopher. I am here. Let's say hello to our friend, local comic book guy, YouTuber. He's kind of a big deal. Comic Tropes, Mr. Christopher. We're actually going to talk about him for a little bit, too, in a good way. Not a bad way. I'm not going to tell everybody about how he punched me in the face today. That was weird. Tyler, the Pope, welcome back. Good evening, Rami? Rami? I don't know why I added a letter in your name. What's up, Chris? We're going to talk about that thumbnail, too. I was just being a dummy today. Hello there, Mark, from the Great White North. Danny Hines in the house. What's up? I saw that you got the peaches, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of groans about these things, and I just did it honestly, for the content, for entertainment purposes. Hello, David, the other West Coast Avengers. Chat episode, and it's non-parenting. So there we go, Mark. You're winning. You're winning. My David brother from down under. What's up, Josh? Well, you hit my other glasses and you broke those. So, and I asked you, I said, would you hit a guy with glasses? And you didn't even hesitate. You just hit me. Rob McCallum, my Scottish brother in Canada. Wow, Joe, how are you? We've got like a Scot in here. We've got a Brit in here. We've got a Brit and Australian here. We've got a Canadian here. I mean, like, come on. Let's give it up for my international friends. You're the lucky ones right now. You're the lucky ones in this world. The Americans, not so much. I don't know if you've seen what's been going on, but it ain't good. Joe Williams in the house. Spooky Joe. Oh, that's good to hear. Well, I'm going to get you to read more stuff tonight. I'm going to show off some books that I was reading this week. I'm going to talk about some stuff that I read this week. I've been doing a lot of reading on my time off, which is really nice. I'm like knee deep in a book. I've got books all over the place in my house with bookmarks in it. Yes, I go global. That's right, Tyler. Yes. Hello, Mark. And yes, say hello to the Pope. But before we kick it off, I just want to, address the tribute on my back wall. Today is 2 years since we lost Ed Piskor. And, it's one of the things that I talk about often, cartoonist kayfabe and Ed's comics and Ed as a person. And I just, anybody who wants to take a night off of thinking about bad stuff, well, we'll talk about good stuff, but I definitely wanted to pay tribute to to Ed. I recorded a Patreon direct edition episode today of just kind of like a rant and me talking and I talk about that. I talk about Ed a bit. But yeah, I had forgotten that it was April 1st today. It's been a very interesting, fun week. I can't wait to tell you about the 100th episode of Direct Edition, which I recorded on Monday. That's okay. Yeah, of course, Chris. Yeah. We'll talk about two things. We'll talk about I did drop the Gary Groth interview on Direct Edition this week, and I did ask him about Ed, and I let him talk. I wasn't trying to do anything other than ask the question, but I did really love how that interview turned out. I got to really get some good stories out of Gary. I would have needed 5 hours to really cover all the things that I had notes on. But thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to Tucker from Fantagraphics for putting that together. Maybe I'll do it again. But 50 years of Fantagraphics, it ain't nothing to sneeze at. Dude, I used to collect. I told you I used to collect the early Sideshow Weta Lord of the Rings stuff. I had pretty much all of the really killer ones. I had Saruman with the Palantir. I had Sauron in full chainmail with the Morningstar. I had the Witch King. I had some really nice ones, and one broke in a drunken party at my house, and I broke it accidentally, and I just decided to sell them after that. I met Ed in Chris is saying I met Ed in 2009. He was about a 6 compared to the 10 he was on his show. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing about kayfabe, right? It's wrestling. It's putting on a character, and everybody in the audience is in on the fact that it's a character. Yes, and Mark, I mean, I've put down a couple of tributes to Ed on this channel. I'm assuming that you've seen them, but if not, you can just search my channel under Piskor, and we've got the 2 Eddie Pecons, the 2 panels, the one that I did last year with Scheme, Jimmy Jams, Sean, and Fife. Michael. Oh, Michael, I forgot to tell you that I forget how to say it in French. Ange de Poutine, that band. When you had told me to look them up, I had already seen the video, their KEXP session. I love that they're getting famous, they're getting huge, and people are enjoying seeing it. Thanks, Christopher. Thank you. Jacob's here. Good day to tell your friends you love them. And to all your Dave Angerinos, I love you guys. And Dave, I love you, my friend. Well, Jacob, the feeling is mutual. And yes, I think talking about Ed and reflecting on it, it is always good to tell people that you care about them, that you care about them. You don't have to keep that inside. There's a lot of shit going on in the world it's not worth keeping your love, friendship love, whatever, platonic love, romantic love, like it's not worth keeping that inside. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. I want to encourage everybody. Yes. Oh, and Jacob, obviously asking about Sakai, obviously something I wanted to, but I was thinking about you also when I asked about Stan. Jim, what's going on? Greetings and salutations. Samuel McClurg. Sam's going to be mentioned tonight. I've got something to show off of him. That's right. Kayfabe forever. Oh yeah. Oh, WYSIWYG. Did I put it? No, I didn't put it on the wall. It's still on the shelf. I can tell you there's not much worth in the Rebirth run. Maybe but you can check Key Collector, but unless it's like even the ratio variants aren't worth too much. Because I've sold a bunch of them and I'm like, oh, it's a 1 in 50? Oh, it's only selling for $10. So that's right. Derek said, don't forget to hit the like button. No update. I mean, I know. Wait, which Maddox piece are we talking about? The one that I'm getting? He already started it. He posted a photo of it. Unless we're talking about something else. My brain's a little scattered right now. Yeah, it's April Fool's. I mean, I forgot that it was April Fool's today. I've done some April Fool's jokes before, but I had too much fun stuff to talk about tonight to even deal with it, And so let's talk about this real quick. I want to shout out to Chris Pierce again, Comic Tropes. Chris's house suffered a pretty bad flood, and it destroyed his basement. And the damage is upward of like, I think he said publicly like $80,000. I can't imagine what it's like to have to deal with that. I had it happen in my house when I was a kid, but I was a child. So my dad took all of the stress for the family. But it happened in the basement, which is where me and my brother had our kind of like play room and stuff. And I know it's pretty devastating. So Chris has a GoFundMe that's live right now. And the link is in the description below. But anything you can give to help, I'll say this as somebody who is friends with Chris, but also somebody that watches his shows, both channels. You know, what Chris does is arguably some of the best comic videos out there. And he doesn't charge money for it. You know, he doesn't do any like he has his Patreon and stuff, but anything you can do to give back would really be appreciated. Next Wednesday, when I return to selling, I'm going to pick something out of the personal collection, auction it off, and that'll just be for Chris's, you know, GoFundMe, recovery fund, whatever we want to call it. But anything you can do to help is much appreciated. Chris is a very valued member of not just the comics community online, but even in Washington. I mean, we hung out today at the comic store for a little bit and just talked. And you know, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. You know, I think about that if it ever happened to me, and how devastated I'd be to have to deal with that, even though I don't own this house. But it's like, then I would have to find a place to live. I get that back. I'd have to find a place to live if it happened to my house. But anything that you could do to help would really be appreciated. I'll leave that up for a second. Yeah, he started my commission already. Chris, what's going on, my friend? Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, of course. Just trying to have enough to do repairs. Yeah, no. And Chris, you know, Chris knows that, you know, when he needs his Turok ones back, I'll make sure to supply him with enough, because according to him, he lost 25% of his comic collection. I know he lost 100% of his Turok collection. But we appreciate you, man. Well, oh yeah, we don't even have to. I mean, like, my dad is a former insurance agent. He retired 20 something years ago, so it's before insurance companies really became like a full-on scam. And yeah, I've had that conversation with him before about how the insurance companies are pretty much grifters. And as we get closer to really terrible global weather across the board, more so, insurance is probably going to go away, especially for homeowners. So yeah, anything we can do to help Chris, I'd appreciate it. I know he would. So that link's in the description below, as well as the Patreon. Patreon's in there if you want to join. 3 videos a month, exclusive sale, more stuff coming along the way. Plus, it's just like the little inner circle. You're going to be able to say, hey, Dave, I want to see you do a video like this, blah, blah, blah. Rami said, apart from the financial burden. Yes, and that's the other thing. Like, I mean, shit, I thought I had mold in my garage recently, and I immediately went from 2 to about a 15 on the stress level. And I can't imagine if it was a different story like Chris, you know, like destruction of house that I own and, you know, all that. So whatever you can do to help is much appreciated. And like I said, I'll be doing some type of auction, or maybe I'll just pick out a piece and price it and be like, this is going all to Chris, but I'll help raise some more money for Chris next week on the sale. I figured that's the better time to do it instead of one of these hangouts. I will be doing some fun stuff tonight. Probably do a couple of giveaways because I have, oh, no, come on, come back. Yeah, let's do that. I'll be opening these soon. I'm not going to do spoilers on the new books, but I want to tell you. So I said, I didn't watch the launch. Not Derek. Oh, you don't want to hear my opinion on this at all. Oh God, why are we wasting money to go to fucking space when there are billions of people that need our help on this planet, and there's millions of people in this country that need help? Anyway, I love space, but now's not the time for space exploration. Anyway, here's my alternate take on it. Okay. We put Jeff Bezos and we put Elon Musk in a rocket with just enough fuel to get into space. And then we celebrate. All right. So, 100th episode of Direct Edition was shot this Monday. It's going to be the season finale of season 5. And it was with Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. I mean, I knew what I was courting when I asked them to be a part of the 100th episode, and they did not disappoint. I mean, it descends into madness so quickly and hilariously that I think it's easy to say it's probably the funniest thing that I've ever put on the podcast, or at least one of the funniest things. But it was really nice because I was able to get a copy of this early and read Mad About DC, which came out today. Chip was is the guest editor for it, and Fraction has a story in there. This came out today officially. I think Kagan McLeod was the winner of the book, if you're, who I think really did the funniest stuff. But it's just it's 64 pages of hilariousness. I think Chip's in like 5 or 6 pieces in here, and I'll just show it very briefly, not enough to be a spoiler, but Chip's one pager of the comic convention utility belt is possibly the funniest thing that he's ever done. So going back to the moon is a financial choice we made, and it's not if and then scenario. We can still fund these other projects, social programs, and still have cash for exploration. I know, but millions of dollars allocated to that could have been put to use to do things on the ground a little bit better. Dave, don't forget the biggest fool in the country chose to give a speech on H. Well, I don't even want to talk about that piece of shit. Yes, it was a Dave sex criminal sandwich. Let's just say that. Mad About DC was great. Truly a love letter to the OG Mad through the lens of DC Comics. Couldn't have said it better myself, Rap Bros. Yeah, of course, and I get it. Well, that you just read that if you really want to be uplifted, because it was, some of the stuff in here was laugh out loud funny. This came out this week. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it's Comics the Magazine #2. Issue 1 I enjoyed. I thought it was really good. I thought some of it was really great, especially the Jim Rugg history of zines. Stay tuned for some news about this. I'll just say that. This I did read, which was the first issue of Bizarro Year 1. The art, Nick Pitara, outstanding. And I thought the writing was okay. I've always liked Kevin Smith. I think his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies are part of movie history, and some of the greatest of its time, and some of the funniest movies. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, and well, I'm missing another one that, or is it just his first 4? I mean, Clerks 2 was funny. Anyway, and Jay and Silent Bob's Strikes Back was funny. Yes, yeah, Danny, he's got a history of zines in the first issue. But this was fun. I thought it was a little bit too verbose, but the art made up for it. I'll check out the second issue for sure. This is going to be part of the giveaway. This will be part of the giveaway. So Zach Kaplan sent me a little package, and I'm a little lost on Kill Your Immortals too, because I never read the first one. Dogma, yeah, I love Dogma. But this ash can for Only the Savage Are Left, that was fun. I'll probably pick up the first issue of this when it comes out. This I'll be part of the giveaway tonight, because I bought a bunch of these. Friend of the channel, both of them, Jim Rugg and Jeremy Heiler, the new issue of V-Friends. It's a little messed up, but I'm going to be giving it away. Jeremy did the art. Jim wrote the book. Comes with a bookmark. I'm super proud of Jeremy for what he did in this issue. It's a kaiju comic. And I'm super happy that Jim hit Jeremy up to do the whole book. So I'll give away a copy of that. I have a love-hate relationship with Kevin Smith. Love what he did with Daredevil, but he killed off a major Daredevil character. Yeah, I do know that. That was what, in the early 2000s when he killed Karen Page. So, yeah, I mean, well, okay, I don't need to put a spoiler alert for something that happened over 20 years ago. But I'm super happy about this. I'm super happy for Jeremy, like I said. Sam McClurg, who I think is still in the chat, put out his, or yeah, I guess it's officially out, his new Samthology. I don't know how much of this I can show without some, R-rated stuff. But this is a Kirby tribute issue. What I really appreciate the most on this was the back cover, the quote about beating Nazis. But this came out today, so I'll give away a couple of these because Sam sent me a couple of these. Look, yours truly in a one-page ad in there. Some good underground anthology goodness. So thank you, Samuel. Sam's got a Patreon too. Sam, if you want to link it in the description, you can, because I don't have the link on me. And look for his next Kickstarter, White Line Deadline 2. And then I'll be giving away a copy of this. Friend of the channel, Derek Kirk Kim, has a new book out with first-time comic artist. This is the first time he's done a comic, Jacob Perez. It's called Royals. It came out today. If you remember Derek from The Last Mermaid, which will be coming back next year, he said. Maybe sooner, but most likely next year. And the first issue was really good. I gotta say, the first issue was really good. I didn't know what it was about. And I know Derek wrote this a while ago. And, it got, I think it was supposed to come out originally last year as a graphic novel. They changed it to issues. But I don't even know really how to describe it. Two brothers that share a telekinetic link get into some mischief together. But it's not a kid's book. Despite it having a very animated style looking like almost a kid's cartoon, it's not. And it was really fun. I read it a couple days ago. So I'll do a couple of giveaways tonight. And then we'll as we're talking and stuff, and I'm going to throw this in. Zdarsky Comic News, I think that was the second to last issue. DKK, that's right. Derek, just like you. What's up, Tom? Tom's in the house. So why don't we see how disappointed this is? Basically, I'm doing this because I want to take the financial burden off of the person that was thinking about buying a couple of these and see how disappointing these blind bags are. Obviously, I want to get a Daniel Warren Johnson cover, but I'm actually excited to read this. And I would love to get a sketch. So, okay, so yeah, it's like this. Justice is blind. And you know what the thing is about it? So is Matt Murdock. Of course, Bob. All right, so let's see what I got. The first one. I mean, it would be nice to get a sketch cover, but this isn't one. Oh, there it is. There's the DWJ. But the funny thing is there's only like 3 or 2 exclusive covers that you can get. So it's like kind of stupid anyway, but I don't care about these blind bags. I thought the Battle Beast ones were great because it was the innovation of like being able to get some stuff. Yeah, sorry, Tom, I didn't mean to spoil that. But yeah, at this point, it's just like, all right, it's kind of stupid. But like I said, I'll incur the burden. Plus, I like supporting my LCS. Shout out to Stargazer Comics. All right, what do we get? Let's see. Okay, it's not a sketch cover. Oh, it's the A cover. Yeah, so thanks for making me pay. I guess it's $1 over cover price, which really doesn't bother me. I mean, it's one. No, it's cover price. Okay, so I got the cover A. I got the DWJ cover, which if you're following any of my exploits as a blind bag content creator, which one did I get? I got the last Marvel one. No, not the last. It was a Batman one. One of the ones I was like, oh, I just want a DWJ cover, and it was the first one I got. So I am like batting 1,000 for getting DWJ covers when I want them. All right, Matthew Murdock. Yeah, there you go, Derek. I 100% agree with that. All right. And it is, who is that? Is that Andrew Robinson? I don't know who that is. Let's see. It's not Stegman. It's not Delato. Maybe that's Rose Besh. No, it looks like it's Alex Maleev. Alex Maleev. Turtles. I didn't do the Turtles one. I didn't do the Turtles one. They were like $12.99, weren't they? Something crazy. What artists are doing these? Jim, let's go through the list real quick right here. You probably can't see this. Lee Garbett, who's the main artist on the book. Rose Besh, Peach, Gabriel WJ, Malosian, Casada, Stegman, the blank variant, the bicentennial calendar one, Rival Studios. So there's a couple of ones that doesn't say the artist. So anyway, I would take the peach, or I would happily take a 1-of-1 sketch. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's see. Okay, it's not a sketch. I can tell that because it's glossy. Marvel's like, fuck you. I don't know if there's a Sankiewicz. All right, well, let's add this to the giveaway pile. So me getting this means one of you gets this. So why don't we do the first giveaway? Let's do #blind. And I'll give away this. And I'll throw in one of the Samthologies. So somebody's going to win both of these. Let me grab a Post-it and a marker. So yeah, we'll give that away. Whatever. And then you get to read the new issue. You get the new Daredevil, and you get 2 things to read. So what could be bad about that? Free stuff from your friend Dave. And you know what? Look, I'm not going to require you to do it, but if you win something tonight, make a donation to Chris's GoFundMe. I would appreciate it. But this will be shipped to you for free. If you are going to attend the sale next week, I'm happy to hold these for you. We'll just combine shipping and you'll save some money anyway. If not, that's cool. You can just let me know. No harm, no foul. Come on, we only got 12 people. Come on. Oh yeah, that's right, Mark. Let's take a look at your art. I forgot that it was in there. I saw it today and I was like, I know that guy. I think this is it right here. Yeah, it's in the left side of the center. A demon. Love it. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. Am I demon? #blind. And you could win 2 comics. Okay, I'm giving stuff away and people are leaving the stream. That makes no sense. All right, I'll just do the giveaway. Don't care. Here we go. Let me share that screen real quick. Stop screen. And then share screen. And then giveaway tool. All right, here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blind. They want to buy stuff. One bad looking demon Obre right there. Hey, I know that guy. Andy Brinning. Congrats, Andy. Appreciate it. I'm out. Thanks, Andy. All right, we'll do at least 2 more giveaways, but let's get rid of that screen and go back. I'll figure out another hashtag at some point. We'll do another giveaway at some point for some free stuff. Nope, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Me. So yeah, I'm excited. I've got one more interview next Monday. I'm not going to say who it is because I just don't like to jinx myself. I don't like to that's right. He's a big Saito fan. I don't like to jinx by saying, hey, I'm going to interview this person, and then I put it out there and it doesn't happen. But the season is getting ready to wrap up, and I'm trying to find some new guests for season 6, which will probably debut around the middle of May, maybe like 3 weeks after the season finale. I needed a break the last couple weeks. It's not recognizing the heavy burnout. There was that one week that I did 4 interviews. And that really, I don't know how anybody could do like a podcast where they record more than 1 interview a week, 2 interviews a week, let alone 4. Next week on the podcast, if you're familiar, some of you probably know him from the kayfabe community, or meeting him at Eddie Pecan. Connor Valentin, who is the frontman, guitarist, and singer or growler of the thrash death hardcore groovy metal band Dissentience. They just released a new EP called Kaiju. It's heavy stuff. I recorded with him for the podcast, and that's coming out next week. And then will be the second to last episode of the season. After that is the person that I haven't interviewed yet, and then the finale's Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction. Well, yeah, it's still a little bit exhausted from it, but I like I said, I've been reading a lot this week. You know what I started reading again? And I guess it was a byproduct of the Gary Groth interview. I started reading Barry Windsor Smith's Monsters again, which is, I think, personally, it's one of the best comic or graphic novels or whatever that I've ever read. And I certainly think it's the best of this decade. Yeah, it came out in 2021. It is not for the faint of heart. It deals with some really heavy stuff. It deals with abuse. It deals with child abuse. It deals with alcoholism. It deals with post-traumatic, PTS, war PTS, because it's set post-World War II. It deals with what the government will go at lengths to do and cover up, or like they were working with Nazi scientists after the war. It's a heavy book, but it's incredible. I mean, the art, just the fact, I know he worked on it for 30 years or whatever. It was originally going to be a Hulk graphic novel, but it's a masterpiece. How many hours on average do you put on interview and research? Mark, that's a good question. It depends, obviously. I think with people that have a longer career, like Gary Groth, the research is absolutely, for somebody like him, was endless. So I had to just kind of like focus on the parts of his career and life that I wanted to try and talk about. For somebody like Silvestri, I didn't, I did need to do a lot of research because I want to try and talk about stuff that I don't see him or have talked about. I have this image book. It's a Tomorrow's publication that they did. It was about the Image founders, and it was each it's like a book with like 12 or 15 page interviews with each of the Image founders. So I read that, and I watched a couple of interviews he did about Darkness that were recent, because I'm not as well read on Darkness as I am with his other stuff. And then I just, so sometimes it's 10 hours, sometimes it's 15 hours, and sometimes it's 2 or 3 hours. Or it's 2 or 3 hours of just me writing notes and then going back to them before the interview. For somebody that doesn't have a lot, like Connor, I listened to the music, and then we just chatted. The Chips and the Zdarsky Fraction interview was like, I wrote notes and basically just said words, and I let them two talk. So it really does depend, but it can be, I love doing research. I absolutely love, I assume, I don't know if I can speak for Chris, but I assume that when Chris does like his Wolverine video that came out this week on Origin, I imagine it's hours and hours of research, or at least like looking through stuff, reading the books, and then writing and, making a script or whatever. Oh, thanks, Chris. Hey, I'm trying. And the other thing is with research, I want to also talk about things that I feel are engaging, and also have a conversation that feels engaging. Like, I really don't like the question and answer format as much as I can get away from it. I think it leads to no chemistry. And I like to lure my subjects in, make them comfortable, and then have a conversation. Yeah, yeah. But like Chris, it shows in your videos, and I assume that it shows in my interviews that I ask things that I think don't get asked, or talk about things in ways. I mean, I feel like when it comes to at least comic book creators, there is the craft talk, the process and craft talk, which I'll ask if it's somebody who I'm actually interested in their process, or there's the influence talk. There's the what drives you to do what you do, which I think is a little more of the human aspect of talking to somebody, like getting down to who they are as a person. I mean, look, the Brett Bean interview was one of my favorite ones that I've done, because Brett, he's just a, a very good person, like a very empathetic, well thought out, well spoken person who I could have just talked to about anything. The psychology background doesn't hurt. How about more gotcha questions to make your interviewees deeply uncomfortable? Well, I tried that with Chip and Matt, and they just ate it up. So, no, I hate that shit, Chris, but you know that. I know you're asking that just as a joke, but first off, I mean, and this is one of the things that I rebel against. Brandon, what's going on? How you doing, brother? One of the things that I rebel against is that kind of, I think we can cite really in modern journalism, modern behavior, TMZ is what encouraged that fucking behavior, and I loathe it. I loathe it to my core. Really do. Like, I have no desire to bring somebody on my channel and try and embarrass them unless it's Chip Zdarsky, because he deserves it. Thanks, man. Boom. R-Truth, not the wrestler, though. Not the wrestler. Those questions truly set you apart. I get bored with the same old questions, and I know interviews get tired of it. Yeah. Oh, and I'm well aware of that. That's part of my research, Derek, is, to watch. I mean, like a guy like Jeff Darrow, right? And Chris had interviewed him about a year or so ago. It was maybe about 6 months before I did. And obviously all the kayfabe stuff. And I knew that all I have to do is mention one or two different things to Jeff, and we'll have an engaging conversation. As soon as I mentioned Japan to Jeff, he lit up, and so that's the kind of thing, because I recognize in myself, and I think you all do, and anybody that has known me personally for a long time, I like to talk. I never shut up, in a good way, in a bad way. I am exhausting if you ever get into an argument with me. I've had multiple people, like, online stop talking to me or stop going at me because I exhausted them. But in channeling it in a outgoing way, in a conversational way, is, I think, where I can say I excel. Yes, see, Will, but you're the same as me, but I'm more exhausting than you. Brett Bean interview had a very conversational, engaging pace. The Groth interview was super engrossing. Yeah, I mean, Mark, I was engrossed by Gary. You could just tell, like, I don't hide how excited I am or how much I love listening to these people that I host talk about their field of profession or expertise or whatever. You can just hear, I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, it was the same thing with Jim Woodring and Darrow telling stories. I'm just like, like, I'm a fan, and also a person that wants to create a great interview. I'm gonna. Oh God, guys, I went not hardwired into my Wi-Fi today, and I'm already seeing that it's laggy a little bit. So I'm never doing the Wi-Fi again. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Jeff. I'll have Jeff back on in the summer before the next Shaolin comes out. I had mentioned it to him before when we did our last interview. I love talking to Jeff. That's a tough one, Rami, because at one point, obviously, it was a default to saying Todd when I interviewed him now 2 years ago, which I don't know why they haven't reached out to me to do another one or answer any of my emails. It's not like I didn't put out the best Todd McFarlane interview ever, because I did. And there's no disputing that. The only one that comes close is Comic Tom's, because Comic Tom did ask him about stuff that like normally he doesn't get asked about, but I know it's better. No shade, but that was actually a really good interview. The Brett Bean interview really does rank high as just a conversation. The Jeff Darrow one and the Silvestri ones were really special to me too, because those felt like, I think for everybody it's different, right? Every person you meet and you have a conversation with, or whatever you share a bond with, everybody reacts differently and is social in different ways. Their personality engages differently. I feel like Jeff was extremely like wanted to talk and was relaxed, and he knows who I am because of Sean and interviewing Alice, his daughter, which I loved interviewing her. And Silvestri was maybe the first time, or one of the first times, that really stood out to me that he was engaged immediately. Like, immediately was interested in what I was asking him about, was interested in talking about his past and the path that took him through all the way to where he is now. And when it was time to talk about Darkness is when he went from being engaged to wanting to know what what I wanted to talk about, to being the Top Cow salesman. And dude, that's what he's there for, right? Like, everybody wants to promote their work. I give them the place to do so. That's an unsaid thing to the audience, but it's not unsaid because I pitched the interview or whatever. But I want everybody to have their chance to talk about their thing, because I'm not here to talk about me on these interviews. I'm here to engage. But I watched him go from like engaged in what I was saying to immediately flip into the salesman mode, but not, his demeanor didn't change. That guy's all smiles, Silvestri. I really love that. Larson's always fun to talk to, especially because he's a wildly different person than most of the other people. So yeah, those are some of the favorites. I think my Mike Allred chat, if you've never watched that was from a couple years ago. Like, me and Allred, Mike Allred's a treasure. He's an absolute treasure. There's not too many interviews that aren't like in my top, but those couple really stood out. And then like, I got to give a shout out to my interview with Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote, because the two of them, I love talking to them. They're such nerds and they're brilliant creators. So, which is your favorite artist drawing style for Wolverine? Top for you is Capullo, Barry Windsor, and Jim Lee. I mean, since I didn't grow up in the Byrne, the Byrne, Cockrum, Paul Smith era, that wasn't me. Buscema, I mean, the early Wolverine, I love John Byrne's Wolverine, don't get me wrong. I would say it's probably Silvestri, Lee, and BWS. I love McFarlane's Wolverine, but I wouldn't rank it in my top 3. I think it's Silvestri's probably my top. I do love Buscema though. I love those first like 10 issues of the Wolverine the ongoing series. I think Frank Miller did a good job, but I would never put Frank Miller's Wolverine anywhere near those top ones. I'd put Frank Miller in top other things, but not Wolvie. Oh, and yeah, fuck, Sam Keith. God, thank you for Mason for I think that's you, Mason. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. We lost Sam Keith about a little over a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and he was probably the second or third Wolverine artist that I experienced on a regular basis. Yeah, Brandon, I'm gonna pitch Stan coming back. I know he was, and I'm pretty sure like his management, or like his people were really happy with the interview. I noticed that they treated it a little bit more special than some other people do. They posted about it like a couple months after the interview, after we initially did the blitz for it. And I have an idea for a Stan Sakai interview that's going to be something a little bit different that might include another person. Let's just say that. But I have to pitch it, and I probably should pitch it soon before I start recording the 6th season. Stan's such a genuine, good human. And as Gary Groth said, as I've said, as a lot of us, like he is I think he's one of the heroes of the comic industry that doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, I mean the Sam Keith's Wolverine, and if you're at my age group, we grew up, and the first real love for Marvel Comics Presents comes from Weapon X, and right after it, it's like, okay, we're gonna blow your mind with this Wolverine story by Barry Windsor Smith, and then wait, we're gonna blow your mind again because Sam Keith's coming in right after that, and it was just like. And and that storyline, the blood hungry one, is fantastic, but the Venom Wolverine one, because that was like, when you think about it, it's like we had McFarlane create Venom, you have Larson take over and kind of put a little more embellishment on Venom, and then Sam Keith does Venom, and it's like, oh shit. And then Sam Keith would go on to do those covers for the first for that Venom solo series that I want to say Daniel Way wrote it. It was that Shiver storyline. I don't think he was the interior on it. He just did the covers. But rest in peace to Sam Keith. And I only met the man once, but through Dave Correa, through Alex Pardee, through John Wayshak, I have been told stories, very great stories about how kind he was. And Kelly Jones, we talked about him a lot on this last interview that I did with him. So that was enough to hear and to know how good of a person he was, how kind he was, and we all know how talented he was. Yeah, I won't disagree with that one, Derek, because Stan is really a true, genuinely good person. Like I admire him as a person, as the way he carries himself, the way he interacts with people. I spent a little time at his table a couple of different Comic Cons, and yeah, I agree with that. So, but yeah, losing Sam is fucking terrible. I mean, that if you're a comic lover, if you're an art lover, there's not, there's, you can't escape being affected by his art, and I'm sure there's something you enjoy, whether it was the Marvel Comics Present stuff, whether it was the Max, whether it was the book he did with partially with Alex Pardee, Ojo. I think you pronounce it Ojo. It might be Oyo, but I think it's Ojo. Seeing his work with Wayshak on Chicken Revolt, his Batman stuff that he did. Even I even talked to Matt Wagner about him a little bit because Sam got his start with Matt inking Grendel. And then obviously like hearing Kelly Jones talk about growing up with him, living with him, how Sam basically handed off Batman to him because he couldn't deal with the biweekly. But yeah, rest in peace, Sam Keith. Do I own any blues music LPs? No, I don't think so. I don't have much knowledge in blues. I mean, obviously I hear it. I can, I know some of the classics, but the blues I know, or the blues I own, would be something that's like more of contemporary rock mixed with blues, like, Jack White or something. Like I think Jack is definitely somebody that you could look at and be like, yeah, he's a descendant from some of the great blues guitarists and musicians. Yeah, Grendel's fantastic. I mean, look at some of Matt Wagner's stuff. You look at all the other people that have done some great Grendel stories. I've flipped through a bunch of what's this series, Black, White, and Red, where it's like different artists doing Grendel. Tim Sale Grendel is fantastic. I mean, I know who Howling Wolf is, but if you ask me to name a song, Warren Haynes might be a little bluesy. I mean, I know, but I don't own anything. It's not something that I buy. Before we even get further, let's hit the like button, friends, and let me do another giveaway. How about we'll do Zach Kaplan's Kill Immortals 2, number 1, signed by Zach right here. ZCN, and another one of Sam's books. And then I'll save those two. Maybe either do it tonight or do it another night or do it next Wednesday. So let's do hashtag Max, MAXX, just a tribute to Sam Keith, hashtag Max. And I'll give these away. I'll ship those out to you. Or if you want me to hold it till next week, I will be happy to. I will be back selling next week. It's going to be pretty big sale. You're going to see a new collection that came through on the channel this weekend. With the exception of one or two items, nothing sold. And it's a pretty depressing video, to tell you the truth. That was another thing that hit me pretty hard. I have been doing this for 5 years. Yeah, like 5-6 years. TJ Maxx. I've been doing this for 5 years. I have a pretty good batting average when it comes to collections that I've bought that I have not just broke even, obviously, I've made money on it. And last weekend, or the weekend before, I bought a collection that it was just a really bad buy. It's the opposite of Best Buy. All right, we'll do the giveaway in a couple of minutes. Let's see what we got here. We got Muddy Waters, T-Bone Burnett, Freddie King, Albert King. I have met BB King before. Obviously, I know BB King. Little Walter. What's his name? Buddy Guy. Can't forget about Buddy Guy, who was in Sinners. Speaking of vinyl, did you see the pre-orders are live for the new Sublime album? Oh God. Yeah, I heard there was a new album from them. I'll pass. But, it's mostly because I don't practice Santeria. I've got no crystal ball. If I had $1 million, well, I'd spend it all. Anyway, we'll do the giveaway in just a second. We'll come back to it. No, but new Courtney Barnett came out, new Twilight Sad came out, and the new Gorillaz, I think, is a masterpiece. I would say the new Gorillaz ranks in their top 3. Whether you go Demon Days, first album, Plastic Beach, or Demon Days, Plastic Beach, Mountain. But John Lee Hooker. Rami, did you just call me a hooker? Yes, I do know John Lee Hooker. Steve Vai? Can we put Steve Vai as blues? I do hate that song. What song? There's so many songs that you could say. Oh, Santeria. No, I mean, I remember when Sublime came out, and I was more drawn to I forget the name of the song, Riot on the Street. But it's The Date. It's The Date of the Riots. That song. That song's amazing. April 92, I forget what the date is. Hendrix. Well, Hendrix is just God. Like, Hendrix is God. You know what I comment? You know what's interesting? I don't know, in the times that we live in with like access to everything on our phone and YouTube videos of everything. I'm reading whatchamacallit. I'm reading Tarantino's novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is like it's outside the lines of a lot of the movie. It's his love letter to old school Hollywood. But I got to the chapter where the Bruce Lee gets mentioned, and I woke up, I read it, and then I was like, I want to watch interview with Bruce Lee. I think maybe I've only seen once or twice. And then I got caught in a YouTube hole of watching these old Bruce Lee interviews. And like, I knew he was an awesome person, but then you like hear him in these interviews and you're just like, God damn, it would have been a nice time to be alive while he was alive. Like to hear him talk and hear the way that he explained like the different types of martial arts and just all this stuff. He was such an interesting guy. But yeah, I got caught in a hole of watching Bruce Lee interviews. It made me sad also to think about like he died so young. And then we grew up the people in our 40s, we grew up with Brandon Lee and we get this amazing performance from him in The Crow. And it gets cut down. Like he dies and it's just like what would have been if we as kids would have grown up having Brandon Lee be our kind of our action star, but he would have probably grown as an actor. He probably would have been in so many great movies. Like you watch him, like in the first couple movies he does, and you could tell he had the charisma. But you watch The Crow, and it's like, we fucking lost somebody that would have been a person that maybe we talk about, like, I don't know, like Harrison Ford, how we talk about him now. Brandon Lee wouldn't be that old now, but he'd be, whatever, 60 something. Anyway, the band, as in like Carry the Weight, aren't they all? Oh, Wednesday, the band Wednesday. I'm like, isn't Levon Helm's dead? Is Robbie Robertson dead? I was like, okay, Wednesday. Yeah, I've seen them once. I feel like I saw them once with. Oh, I always get them confused with Thrice. Yeah, the book is really good. I'm more than halfway done with it. Bruce Greer. Dude, his final interview. Wait, are you talking about Bruce or Brandon's? Because Brandon's final interview, I think I know the one you're talking about because I've watched it a bunch of times. I don't know. You might be talking about Bruce, but I've watched Brandon Lee's final interview a bunch of times. And I don't know if you've ever visited his grave in Seattle because the two of them are buried next to each other, Bruce and Brandon. But the quote that he says in that final interview is the quote that's on his grave. It's like something to the effect of like, we don't know how long we're going to be here, if we're going to see our last sunset, if we're going to see the moon for the last time. It's like something about like just cherishing the time that you have on this planet, on this plane, because you don't know when it's going to end. Bruce Lee was a transcendent individual. Film and TV role was too limited for him at the time. No, I agree with that. I'm not as well versed in all of the things that he's done and said, but what I've seen, he was a different breed of person. He really was. Rice, and I'm thinking of Thursday. Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God, you're right, Derek. Because I've seen, okay. I've seen Thrice, and I think I've seen Thursday with Touche Amore. I don't fucking know anymore. A lot of those bands are together in my mind. Chris, I'll get to that in a second because that's a first generation image artists are all brilliant, but they almost all stopped doing interior art. That's what bothered me. Silvestri's, dude, Chris, that Deadly Duo book is so fucking good. It's unfair how good that book is. Oh yeah, classic. That is a classic movie. I mean, that's the movie that we talk about when we talk about Bruce Lee. Yeah, Thrice, Thursday. I mean, I've seen Sparta. I think I've seen Sparta with one of them because I'm a big Sparta fan. You know that. Anyway, let me do the giveaway, and then I want to go back to what Chris said about the best concert I've ever been to, because that's like a loaded fucking question. All right, hashtag the max. I'm going to give away. The Kill Immortals 2, signed by Zach Kaplan, Sam's new Samthology, the Kirby tribute, and a Zdarsky Comic News. So let's give that away in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here you go. All right, who's got it? Smells like marker. Hey, Jacob. You got it, pal. Congratulations, my friend. Would you like to see the ruins? Let's put them down here. Did I write who won that first one? Yeah, okay. That's so funny that two people that live inside Washington State just are the winners tonight. Really funny. Really funny. I don't think you could even like plan that. I have a name for a band: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Everyone hates them. Yep, there you go. All right, let's start the band, Derek. I'll play percussion. Speaking of Bruce, we also lost the legend Chuck Norris the other day. I am not a fan. I've never been a fan of Chuck Norris, but anybody who was a fan, there you go. I think in the canon of those guys, I think he was in like some of the least fun movies. But to each their own. To each their own. Best concert I've ever been at. Oof. I mean, look, Chris, I've seen, humble brag, I've seen Pearl Jam 40 times. A couple of those rank in my top. Madison Square Garden in 2003, which became the DVD that they put out. One of the best shows I've ever been to. I've been to some really crazy small shows of big bands. Like I saw Green Day at Bowery Ballroom whenever 21st Century Breakdown came out. I saw them the day that American Idiot came out in Irving Plaza, New York City, and they played the whole album. So that ranks up there. Nine Inch Nails, I don't know what my best Nine Inch Nails show is. I mean, I've seen them so many times too. It's hard to really think. House of Blues in Atlantic City was amazing, even if the rest of the night was shit. Um, man, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, just recently, as of recently, I saw Jenny Lewis at the Paramount in Seattle, and that was fantastic. No, that was in Brooklyn. That was in Brooklyn. Jesus. Yeah, no, I was just never a fan. Never a fan. I was like, obviously, Schwarzenegger is my like all-time action guy, but I prefer some of Van Damme's movies because they were actually good movies. Time Cop, great movie. Hard Target, great movie. John Woo's First in America. Uh, uh, yeah. Anyway, Jenny Lewis, yeah, she's fantastic. She is. I'm trying to think like there's a lot of special shows that I've been to that were okay. Here we go. There were a couple bands. Whether yeah, Double Impact. Hold on. There's two of them. Uh, I saw Nine Inch Nails with Bauhaus. I saw Peter Murphy come down at a Terminal 5 Nine Inch Nails show. I want to say it was the Wave Goodbye tour. And Peter Murphy comes from the ceiling suspended upside down to sing Reptile. I'm like, this dude's insane. Fuck that guy. Fuck Steven Seagal. Yes, he was legit. Yeah, I saw Tool on the 10,000 Days tour. They did a bunch of theater shows. I saw them twice at a theater in New York City. I forget the name of the theater. It was a Broadway theater. My problem with Tool is you can't see them more than once on a tour because it's the same set. And I saw them 3 times on the 10,000 Days tour, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Like my quota for Tool for the rest of my life is good. Love the band, but it's just like, Yep. Even during Walker, Texas Ranger. Yep, Matuzak. Same matter can't occupy the same space at the same time. That movie is so quotable. Plus, it's based off a comic. Yeah. I've seen Nine Inch Nails. I've seen Nine Inch Nails. I think every tour except for one since 1995. I first saw them when I was whenever Downward Spiral came out. I think it was 14 or 15. It's the first time I ever smoked a cigarette and the first time I ever smoked a joint. So that's a special show for me. No one mentioned I did mention Hard Target. I said it was John Woo's first American movie. It was the like the two in a row. I think Hard Target and Time Cop came out like those were two consecutive movies for him. I feel like there's another one. Universal Soldier might have come out right after Time Cop, another comic movie. Lionheart, Kickboxer were his first two major movies, I believe. Yeah, Universal Soldier. The Crow, possibly the best comic movie of all time. I don't disagree with that. I think there's categories, Will. I think there's like almost 3 distinct categories. There's the superhero movie, which you can take, you can DC Marvel it. There's independent superhero movie, your Crow, uh, Time Cop, like that kind of stuff. And then there's the comic book movie, like I just rewatched Ghost World this past weekend on 4K, and like that's a special movie. But I would never say that Ghost World and The Crow are even in the same comic book movie talk. Sin City is not in the same comic book movie talk as Ghost World, but Crow I think is in my top 5. Yeah, I think that. I mean, that is the convergence of 3 things, right? That's the convergence of a music scene that can never, like a soundtrack music scene that can never really be touched. That the same timeline as singles and Spawn. Like it is a person that was breaking out of on their first huge role, and then it was like goth culture finally coming to the mainstream in a way that you can't really say happened anywhere else. It's like that and Blade. It makes for such a great experience. But it's just and then the comic that it's based off of is so fucking good. Yes, I watched episode 2 last night. I watched 3 this morning. I'm excited. I'm enjoying where it's going. Uh, it's crazy how much it mirrors. Like even you couldn't even really. Yeah. No, it's so good. Yeah, Bloodsport, Lionheart, Kickboxer. Oh yeah, those three. Those three. You're right. I didn't bother. I'm not. I'm actually have been watching a lot less TV since I let a bunch of streaming services go, but I don't care. It just didn't interest me. But I heard people liked it. I heard people liked the comic. Went to Peter Murphy. Excuse me. Went to Peter Murphy show. Hear the flat field from the beginning to end. That's cool. I'm not familiar too much with his music as an artist, just who he is and what I've seen. But Tom, that's like you're a little bit older than me, so like your generation grew up with Bauhaus and Peter Murphy, whereas like I come in and I listen to Nine Inch Nails, and then I see where those two things hugely intersect. Yeah, the blood sport category, right? Those are the martial arts movies that are, the plot is kind of it's whatever. It's like revenge, tournament, fight. You know, it's where fighting games come from. Is like those movies. Still have to read Invincible trade paperback. I was born in '96, so give me a break. Dude, Invincible's so good, and the show is so fucking good. Invincible, like you've heard me say it, Chris, it is definitely the best superhero book of all time. Yeah, I no interest really. Not. I love Brie Larson. That's about as far. I'm not interested. I don't have kids, so it's like I have no reason to watch that movie. I watched the first one. You know what? I think Super Mario Brothers was better when it was called Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph's a great movie. I don't give a shit if I go blind. I don't need to see the price tag anyways. I don't know that corn song, Connor. But here, have a shard of blind bag. Oh, all right. I wanted to show some. I think this is funny. And look, I am not a fan of AI, but every once in a while on Instagram, I'll use their little tool to make like a quick thumbnail that I decided to do a live show about, I don't know, less than 24 hours ago. And so that thumbnail that I did, I took a picture of myself and I used the Instagram tool on the stories. And I was trying to prompt it to, make a blind bag. I was like, make me a blind bag, thumbnail. So I want to show some of you guys the outtakes. Let's see. Let me show some of these outtakes here. All right, here's the first outtake. It's so stupid. I think I said I took a picture of myself in here. I said take out the background and replace it with a Daredevil blind bag. But the funny thing about this is like his nipples. What is going on with his nipples? They're so big, and like, why are his nipples coming through the costume so much? It's very uncomfortable. He also has like a 32 pack. And yeah, it's not Daredevil, it's blind bag. All right, so there's that one. Let me show you. This is the one that I ended up doing, which is ridiculous in its own right. But as you can see, first off, when I first did this thumbnail, it kept spelling Daredevil. The E was not in there, and then it thinks that that's a blind bag. Just a blind bag. And then why do I look like Peter? What's his name? The dude that plays the bad guy in The Mask. When he puts the mask on, he looks into that. It's Vancor. Exactly. All right, so then there's this one. And then the two funniest though. I'm going to tell you what what I was trying to get it to. I was trying to get it to what was I was trying to get it. Okay, I think I said remove the background and replace it with 7 pictures of Matt Murdock. And well, let me just show you what it thinks that meant. Let me just share this screen real quick. Okay. What? What? Somebody explain to me how AI is even a viable thing if this is what it does. First of all, why is the one dude, what? Who is this? And why is he Matt Murdock? And when I said 7 pictures, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Daredevil make us, exactly. There you go, Mickey. It made me rich. No, I got 2 cover A's, the Dana Warren Johnson cover and an Alex Maleev cover. So I gave one of them away. So who is this? Why is it think that this is Matt Murdock? And why is Matt Murdock dressed like a weird, neighborhood watch guy in the top left? Yeah, exactly. Heisenberg's up here, over here, I mean. And yeah, so anyway, there's that one. And then finally, I'll show the last one real quick, and that we can go back to Glenn Powell Look-alike Club. And then there's this one, which I almost used, but I didn't because what the fuck is this? I said, make me Daredevil wearing the Daredevil mask and put 7 pictures of Daredevil in the background and look what it does. So, when we're talking about AI, I mean, like, I'm a pretty intelligent person and this is what it comes out. Yeah, this is pretty horrifying. And I'm saying blind pick. Anyway, so yeah, AI is shit and it's fun to use as a like trying to experiment with it to see how terrible it is. What's the safe word? Blind. uh, I watched the Backrooms A24 trailer and I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. I don't know what to expect from that movie. I know it was made by, I don't know the guy, but I know he's like a YouTuber. It's very interesting. I'm not too up on like the YouTubers that started 10 or 15 years ago that wanted to go into filmmaking or whatever. But it was that one guy who made that one horror movie. I don't know what Mark Plyer. I don't know who the person is. And then there's the guy who's making this Backrooms movie. I think people used to say this when YouTube content creators. Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know his name, but it is that guy. But I remember when YouTube content creators they weren't even called content creators yet. It was just people, YouTube creators started experimenting and making films and stuff. And like people would say like, oh, this is the generation that's going to grow up to make movies or might. And now we've got 2 people that are responsible for major motion picture releases, maybe more than I'm not aware of. I definitely think that YouTube, early YouTube, Vine, stuff like that, and even current YouTube really gave way to a lot of creative people that were able to make things, put them on, and gain a fan base. And, obviously, if your dream is to become a filmmaker or, whatever, this was a breeding ground for it. And obviously it's also a breeding ground for so much garbage and so many garbage people that have hurt our society. But there's a lot of people that are making, positive stuff. Chris, always appreciate you, my friend. Guy who made that movie from YouTube, he's only 20 years old. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. So like it's even more so than like somebody that got started on YouTube probably as a teenager. I mean, look, I don't know if people are aware of this. Florence Pugh has you can go on her YouTube and see videos of her singing at like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 years old as like a kid. I think I followed her on YouTube a couple years ago when it came across my algorithm and I was like, oh, she can sing. She's got a great voice. And there's probably a ton of people. I feel like there's another female another actress that has a background in YouTube. They used to have a YouTube channel before she was really famous. I'm sure there's plenty of people that I'm not even aware of. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Daryl. You have to play the game. Like, there is no getting around it. Like, I resisted it for a while. And if anybody, let me go back to that. If anybody in here is not subscribed to Daryl's channel, you should. I haven't watched. Oh yeah, I did watch the Blood Hungry video. Yes. What did Mickey say? We're all at a point where to be a filmmaker today, you need to. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I interviewed Mickey pretty early on in Direct Edition. We talked almost exclusively about film, a little bit about comics. But yeah, I mean, to be a podcaster, I think right now you have to establish a YouTube channel. In the last 2 years, it's become more evident. I heard very recently that Apple is going to shift into also doing video, which I think is fine. Audio will always have a place in our lives because, you know, the fact that these exist and you can listen to anything while you're doing anything else, audio will always have a place. But companies shifting into video is just it's to compete against YouTube, which I don't think you can at this point. YouTube, I think, despite having negative, engagement through, your click through or negative leaning, I still think it's like one of the last places that you can kind of do what you want, speak freely, make the kind of things that you want to see, and hopefully attract people. But the last couple of weeks on this channel, I've made kind of negative leaning clickbait, but none of it's been misleading. Like this weekend, I'll show you guys the thumbnail for this weekend. Where is it here? Oh yeah, here it is. Let me share this with y'all so you can see what I had to do. But it's kind of not, it's unfortunately the truth. There's no Turok involved, but yeah, I thought that was my buddy Brandon did that, and I thought it was a pretty good job on that thumbnail. Oh God, I have so many windows open. Let's see I can't wait for 420. The date, the time, all of it. Oh, Derek, I upload Direct Edition on Spotify as my host for that, and then obviously on YouTube as its own host. So I gotta take a look and see. Maybe I have to upload separately to Apple now that it's doing video. Have I watched the YouTube channel, Matt? Yeah, yeah. So Matt has been on the scene for a little bit. He's got that one channel now. He's got a second channel. He's interesting. I mean, he apparently comes from a very successful YouTube channel. I think it was in cars. And he knew what he was doing. So when he made his first video and it went to like 500,000 views immediately, it was like, all right. He seems pretty passionate. I just don't watch too much of his stuff because it's not super, it's like a lot of it is interesting. And then some of it's just like, yeah, you're making a lot of comic videos for people that don't know a lot about comics, which is cool, but I don't know. There's just something not personal about it. No, I'm never buying another PlayStation. I'm good with my 5, but I heard they're hiking up the 5 prices. Speaking of PlayStation, has anybody in the chat ever played Dispatch? Because I was recently told to play it, and I thought it was a fantastic game, and it is definitely made for us comic fans, for people that like Invincible, whether it's the comic or it's the show. And I encourage everybody to play it because it's a lot of fun. Aaron Paul's the main voice actor in it too. I mean, I still love GTA, but can we get a goddamn GTA 6 finally? Can we get it, please? This year? I need to go around Florida and throw alligators or people into alligators. It's basically all I want to do. And then find the person that's smoking meth and hang out with them because it's Florida. Yeah, I'm not patient enough to build a gaming PC or want one. I love a good old console. Listen, Will, don't make me fly down to LA and slap you with a dildo or something. Ah. I still love GTA 5. Like that's I mean, what, we've been playing it for a decade now, right? I think it's been out about a decade. I just refuse to do the online thing. It's too addicting. What's up, Ian? Ian's in the house. And I've never been a fan of Legos either. I'm a puzzle person. I like jigsaw puzzles. Ooh, that's a tough one, Derek. I'm gonna say GTA 6 does. I don't even care. Look, y'all know, see Todd by Todd. You know how much I love Todd. I don't even care about a Spawn movie at this point. I'd take another animated series over a movie any day. 13 years, Jesus. Yeah, that's, that makes sense because it came out right before I've been in the Pacific Northwest for 12 years and it came out right before I moved. Ooh, that's cool. That would be a fun thing to do. Well, Metal Gear Solid. Maybe I can get Kojima on the podcast. Yeah, right. Half-Life 3. I didn't even know that they were making a Half-Life 3. I don't think he's trolling. I think it really is a struggle to get. I mean, look, we know from what everybody has said that it is extremely tough these days to get a movie made, especially even if it's like an IP that exists. He, I mean, it's already been proven successful in animated. I just don't know why anybody needs a live action Spawn movie. You could never. I don't think. I don't think you could cinematically make anything that looks like Todd or Capullo's art. I do not think that it's possible, especially Todd because of the hyper detailed. Um, there you go. I mean, I've tried. I know people that know him. I've I'll say this out loud because it was possible. When I talked to Jeff Darrow last year, before we did the interview, he suggested I invited him to do something in the memory of Eddie P to have him on before we did the interview. And he suggested Cho too. And I said, yeah, I'd love that. And he said, Cho never responded to him about it. So I'm imagine that Cho didn't want to do it, which is fine. Cool. I hope it was good. It's just not anything I care about. I don't know. I watched the first one and look, everybody's tastes are different. I thought it was completely forgettable. You got your Guillermo's out there, know the power of what's possible. That's true. It's a different story. He is a master craftsman. I think you're talking about Guillermo del Toro. Now I want to dig up my PS1 and play some Metal Gear. Dude, fucking. And speaking of Todd, those Metal Gear figures were badass. The ones that he put out after the PS2. Anyone coming to Corpus Christi, Texas? I have no clue. I don't know. Yes, I'll just say yes. You know who's going to be there? I don't know. Well, yeah, he got behind Mignola because like the two of them speak the same art. I don't think that Guillermo del Toro and a guy like Todd McFarlane would want to work together or even work together well. I mean, look, I think David Cho is I think especially through the lens of kayfabe, what we got to see of him do on that, I love hearing him talk about comics. I love enthusiastic people. Speaking of people I love, Chuck Dixon's not one of them. That guy is a hack and a half and a child. Pagliacci the Clown will be there. No, I've never seen Torchwood. What's the one that David Tennant was in with what's her name? Oh, what's the name of that show? Somebody tell me. The Scottish show. Oh God, Olivia Colman. Broadchurch. That show was good. I'm saying there's got to be directors out there who love Todd's vision. It's just weird taking this long to come to life. Well, the thing is, I also know that he originally wanted to direct it, and then he relented that he wasn't going to do that, but he still wants to be a script supervisor. I'm sure there's a piece of him that wants certain parts of creative control that he can't have because it's his baby, and I understand that. I just don't think it's necessary. I think if they put that energy and time into doing an animated series, look at what they've done with Invincible. Look at what they've done with something that is virtually unfilmable because of the mass amount of destruction, the mass amount of violence, the mass amount of gore involved in that violence. Like you could not film that. It would not be worth it. And to do it on an animated scale makes sense. I say what you do. Yeah. Well, Wesley Snipes was the problem with the Blade movie. Yeah. The stories from the third Blade movie have to be some of the funniest behind the scenes stories ever told. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of even a movie or a style of movie that would work for Todd's art. Like, yeah, Robert Eggers could put something like that together. I think like some of the imagery from what we've seen, not so much in The Witch, but more in The Lighthouse and The Northman and Nosferatu. I think that imagery would be really great for something like that. Um, you know, like I'm trying to think of what movie is. Well, yeah, I mean, he wants it so that he can kind of just notch that off his belt because he's done so much of it. He's done the music video, he's done the animated series, he's won the Emmy and the Grammy. I think it's that, but I'm just like I try to even think of a movie that has depicted that kind of hell and it looked good. Like what is his main comic comes out for Torch? What is oh cool. The guy who's doing the new Predator stuff. Oh yeah, maybe what's his name? Not Dan. Yeah, Dan. God, Dan, what's his name? Dan. I can't remember his name. John Carpenter's Spawn. John Carpenter's pretty much retired from movies. But that would have been cool like 20 years ago. Dan Trachtenberg. Thank you. Thanks, Will. Something dark. I forget the name of the film, but it had Scarlett Johansson as an alien. Oh, fucking yeah, that's Under the Skin. And that's Mark. Is that Mark Romanek or another Mark? He's done like 4 movies. That movie's amazing. I love Under the Skin. Under the Skin's probably in my top 15 for the last 20 years. See, Paul Thomas Anderson, like, if somebody gave him the budget to make a Mortal Kombat style movie after he made Mortal Kombat, it would have been. I like Paul W.S. Anderson for what he is. He is a very great B movie maker. Rob Zombie Spawn would be wild. It'd be so, yeah. Yeah, it would be weird. Yeah, Reeves, but yeah, Reeves is busy making the next Batman movie. Reeves has got a great eye. I mean, I think his Planet of the Apes trilogy is so fucking good. And then I think the Batman is one of the best, if not the best, Batman movie for comic book lovers. I can dream. Yes, you can. Good evening, Kim. John Carpenter is just smoking weed, playing video games these days, and then every once in a while he goes out on tour. Exactly. Anderson could do Deadpool. I think we've exhausted the amount of Deadpool movies that we ever need again. Fuck it, just do it. You know what? How about we'll go even one step further. Let's just make a John Woo Spawn movie where it's like Al Simmons basically for the first hour and a half as a special ops guy, and it's just all in slow-mo sliding across the floor, bullet casings flying everywhere. Ari Aster. I mean, I think he's gonna just keep making movies that don't fall into what you think he's gonna make. Like Eddington, if you look at Eddington versus Hereditary versus Midsummer, I never ended up seeing Beau is Afraid. They are all wildly different movies that don't make sense in the continuity sense. Yeah, slow-mo and doves everywhere. Yeah, and then yeah, it would be weird. I just don't know. I don't know. Like as a fan of Todd, as a fan of Spawn, I'd be happy if we never get one. I do want to, and being 3 hours, like I want to watch it, but I want to be in the right mindset to watch it where I'm like, yeah, I'm down to get lost in a 3-hour Insano movie. Oh yeah. Capes everywhere. Capes and chains everywhere. Kids love chains. Ed Wood Spawn. Tim Burton's Spawn would be the worst, but Ed Wood Spawn would be the best. But I don't know. I'm excited. There's some movies I'm excited for this year. Clearly, obviously I'm excited for Avengers. And I'm excited for Dune 3. But there's other stuff that I know. Like, I don't know. I'm excited for see what Fincher does with this Cliff Booth movie. But I don't know what to expect, but he's never let me down. Oh yeah, what's his name? Oh God, I know who you're talking about. He's a Greek guy. Panos, was it Panos Costamante Barauros, whatever his name is? Eddington was the first bad movie that I've seen Aster do. I don't think it was bad at all. I don't know how I feel about that movie, but I do not think it was bad because it was so polarizing. It was so polarizing. Hashtag kid love cheese. This, yeah, Dune 3 is when Annie comes out, and that's it's the crux of the movie. Yeah, I know that's coming out. I don't know what's taking so long. As a manga expert, which I'm not, what are your thoughts on the Jeremy Padower recent graded manga craze? I haven't paid attention to it, Swag. I mean, I can say this. I do not think that anybody that collects manga, that loves manga, that's an enthusiast, wants to see that stuff graded. But I don't, that is something that's out of my depth on that. Because I don't grade any manga. And most people in Japan frown upon that. Like the people that collect in Japan, they typically frown on that. So I could look up what that's about and then talk about it another time. Panos Cosmatos. Yeah, thanks, Rob. And wait, he directed. Oh, yeah, that's right. His dad directed Tombstone. Right. Yes, I've heard the stories about that. Spawn movie is a fever dream that happened once in a theater. That's all it ever was. That's where it belongs. The soundtrack, though, is not a fever dream. That soundtrack rips hard. And Cobra. Remember, rest in peace, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I did want to see. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm building up. Anybody find any good 4K Blu-rays? I finally got a massive 4K TV, so I'm building my 4K library. Any suggestions out there of what I should be snagging? I hit the Criterion sale last year. But speaking of graded books, I gotta sell. I got my the Banana Gate books back, and they fixed everything. Fucking clowns at CGC. Clowns everywhere. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am. Sad. Wait, what? I worked with Panos. He's a really fun guy, and I had a real laugh. What'd you work with him on? Dude, I have to pick up the 4K of Akira. I have every other version of it. Kino Lorber. All right, Danny, I'm going to write that down. $4K. Yeah, I want to pick up Sinners. I definitely have to get Akira. I don't know if I'd watch Mandy again. Like, I loved Mandy. I've seen it a few times. I just don't think I'll ever have the desire to watch it again. I just got the two. Yeah, I saw you posted that. You know, I bought 2 of those while I was in Japan. I kept one, and I gave one to Sean for his birthday, and then I think he sold it. Anyway, Criterion had another sale going on. Oh, yeah, you know what? I heard that they had another sale. I did. Bit is a throwback, but The Revenant. Oh, dude, I love The Revenant, and I don't own it, so that's a good one for me to buy. I saw that movie I think twice in the theaters because it was what's his name? Not was it Quran? Or was it what's his name? Yeah, whatever. Yes. So that book, that storyboard book is only available in that set. That's why I was tracking them down. They weren't too terribly too hard to find. I think I saw 3 of them on my trip there, and I only bought 2 of them. Okay, good to know. Megalopolis. Did you actually see that, Will? Like, I feel like you would not have sat through that movie, or you would have sat through like an hour of it and then like punched somebody in the face and walked out of the theater. Like Criterion, Eyes Wide Shut. I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut in a minute. That'd be nice to revisit it. I did see it when it came out. I think I've seen it a couple times since. Good old Goodfellas. Yeah, of course not. That movie existing probably gives you like stress. I've never been able to watch Megalopolis. Can't find it anywhere. I mean, I do think these days, with how movies don't stay in the movie theater. I mean, shit, I was going to go see Hail Mary and the IMAX this week, and fucking Mario Brothers bounced it out. And so I do think even if you are seeing a movie for the first time, like a Megalopolis, and you can buy the Blu-ray for $30. Like, it's worth it. What is that? Maybe double. It's double the price of a movie ticket, but then when you factor in snacks and gas and then finding the time, like $30 to buy a movie, $40 to buy a movie is the smarter choice these days. I think you go see the movie in the theaters that you really want to see. If you're lucky enough to live in a place that has a ton of great movie theaters like LA or New York or some of the other cities, I think you go to the movies as much as you can, but I think it's beneficial to keep building that physical media library. We're all about physical media here. Come on. We're comic people. We love the physical thing. And I think you should be buying as much physical media as you can. The worst that could happen, right? The worst that could happen is you get tired of having so much of it, you sell it. The best part of it is when you want it, it's there. Yeah, is it? I was really impressed with the No Country for Old Men. That was the first movie I watched on the TV, was the 4K of it. Uh, I mean, it's not for everybody. It's Kubrick. His movies aren't what you would call exciting to begin with, right? I mean, Full Metal Jacket, sure, that's an exciting movie. Shining is a slow burn. Uh, yeah, but teach their own, right, Kem? Definitely worth watching Eyes Wide Shut and then taking down Roger Avery's Epstein conspiracy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, oh yeah, I would refuse to rent movies digitally these days. It's just not worth it. Yeah, I mean, there's Arrow, there's what's the one that I just bought? I just bought the Dawn of the Dead 4K transfer. I haven't watched it yet. Jesus Christ. I mean, I have HBO. I don't know if I would. I loved Eastbound and Down when it came out. But I don't know if I'll revisit it. Speaking of awesome things, let's just take a look at DWJ's cover. It's kind of, it's definitely DWJ not putting everything into a cover. Uh, ooh, Deadwood's a classic. Sucker. It's funny. I didn't watch Deadwood when it came out. For no reason other than I don't think I was like, I'm not usually drawn to Westerns. When I finally sat down and watched it, probably 6, 7 years ago, because I am a big fan of, uh, what's his name? Timothy Oliphant fan, because I love Justified. And I had no clue how good that series was. And it was so good. So good. Oh, dude. Well, first of all, you should read everything he's done. Murder Falcon, Do a Power Bomb, Moon is Following Us, Transformers. What am I? I'm missing. I'm missing one. I'm missing one. Oh, Extremity, Ghost Fleet. Like, read it all. He's so good. Yeah, them. I don't think I know that movie at all. At all. That's true. Well, no longer. No longer. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a great book. It's a great book. I also, you know what I do need to buy? And I can't believe I should have, I thought about buying it when it came out. The first Lord of the Rings extended edition 4K box set that they ever released. I was gonna buy it even though I didn't have 4K. And now I regret it because that box set goes for like $175 or something. Is there another extended edition box set 4K that exists? Because I need it. I need it. My precious. Fucking love those movies. Um, yeah. I always mix it up. Which one is giant spiders and giant ants? It's the ones that eat you. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I think you did tell me that you did concept art for Red. But yeah, I'm happily building my library up. I just bought the Crow 4K. I mean, I feel like, and maybe you guys in here can answer, are there lazy 4K transfers that I should avoid? Is it something that like when they started doing, like, the resurgence of vinyl really started hitting about 15 years ago, and everything was on like a heavier gram vinyl, and people were like, "Oh, heavier is better," and then people came out and were like, "Oh, uh, no, that's false." So, the Fabulous Stains, I don't know what that is. I don't know what any of that is. There are lazy versions. Well, you'll have to enlighten me, Will. You don't have to enlighten me in here. I'm just curious. Does it really? Huh. What about Alien 4K? Because right, didn't they do that recently? I know anything that Peter Jackson has remastered is him doing it, so I know that's going to be, you know, chef's kiss. But like I wonder about like what about Spielberg movies? Did they do 4K of Raiders? I know Jaws got the 4K treatment. I need to pick that up. They did it, I think I think for the 45th anniversary, and then they re-released it for the 50th anniversary last year. What about Clerks 4K? Like anybody needs that in 4K. Oh, are they? Ian, I didn't know that. What about RoboCop? Did RoboCop get the 4K? I mean, that's one of the greatest movies of all time. If anybody disagrees with me, you can just leave. Creep. Um, Peter Weller, man. Peter Weller. It's kind of weird to me that Peter Weller's in like his 60s, maybe early 70s. He looks like he's 90. Did he get sick? Like I know he's not sick, but he looks like he died. Showgirls 4K. Now let me tell you something about that transfer. I don't know if I love Verhoeven. I just don't know if I ever care about seeing that movie again. I mean, it was good for so many reasons, but obviously Elizabeth Berkley and Gina Gershon. But come on, Total Recall, RoboCop, Starship Troopers, right there. Buckaroo Banzai 4K. Shout or Arrow. Okay. Have you watched the RoboCop documentary? No, I haven't seen it. What is that on? Like, it's probably on fucking Shudder, or is it on YouTube? I'd love to watch it. I heard it was great. Okay, because RoboCop, like, that's another movie. If you saw it as a kid, like a lot of us in here did, and you grew up with it, and then you watch it now, and it's like, oh shit, it's still very, very much satire of current times. And it was satire of current times in the 80s. I don't know if there's a 4K of Unknown Origin. It's a great Weller movie that Shout Factory put it. No, I don't. I'm not aware of it. I'm not. I feel like Weller's career is mostly unknown to me, besides like Buckaroo and RoboCop. It's on Prime. Cool. I'd love to watch that. I'd love to watch that. I just recently has anybody. I know I've talked about it before on this show, and Kayfabe mentioned it. Has everybody here seen the Will Eisner documentary? Because it's like loaded with some of the great comic book interviews ever. You know, like everybody you'd want to hear that's no longer with us is on that documentary. Also, I don't know, did I see there's a Carl Barks documentary coming out, or maybe there's one that exists? Oh, that's right, Naked Lunch. I forgot he was in Naked Lunch. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Did they ever do a Twin Peaks 4K box set? I'd like to watch that. Maybe Wild at Heart. I mean, I should always be buying movies because the worst that could happen. I used to have, I don't know if I can speak for everybody in here, but about Blu-ray DVDs came out around 2001, 2002, somewhere in there, 2000. And I started building a movie library to a point when I moved to Queens from Long Island. I probably had like 600 movies, and then I got rid of so many of them. And then when I moved cross country, I got rid of so many more, and now I'm just rebuilding it. Yeah, it's a tough one to find because the website that sells them no longer exists, but you can purchase one. You'll never get it. I actually had bought one when Kayfabe did the episode about that. I bought one online on the website. 6 months later, it never came, so I disputed it with PayPal and got my money back. Oh, dude, I don't remember that he was in Leviathan. I mean, I haven't seen that since I was a kid. That was like that came out. It was when they would make one movie and then another studio would make a competing movie. It's like that and Deep Star 6 came out around the same time. I'm just remembering the Blu-ray of Poltergeist. Matte lines on FX. The rise definition didn't help in any way. Oh yeah. Yeah. What's up, Calvin? Calvin Yedimus. How you doing? Cheesier, highly recommend Jerk Comics multi-part Sam Keith documentary. It's from years ago. I watched, I think I watched that whole thing. And I watched his Kelly Jones one where he basically talked about Sam Keith the entire time. I get it, he was a Sam Keith fan, but I feel like he did a little bit of a disservice talking to Kelly Jones so much about Sam Keith. But a Jerk Comics great. That's a very non-hatred criticism. That was just me being a YouTuber. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna guess that the people who made that don't exist anymore, so there might be a rights issue, like the company that made it. Yes, the Prestige and Illusionist, Dante's Peak and Volcano, Deep Impact, and well, I forget what the other one was called. Yeah, that shit used to happen all the time. Still dragging the corpse of my original collection in a bunch of binders. Oh wow, Danny. Yeah, I at least you have them in binders. Like I never went binders, and so I had two bookshelves of DVDs, the cases and everything. How the Max broke Sam Keith. Sam Keith, I don't know. I mean, like he did so much. He was pretty prolific in the time that he was creating on a regular basis. But yeah, I've watched, if not the whole thing, I've watched part of it. The Dave Stevens documentary is fantastic. I enjoyed watching that. I watched that a couple years ago, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I still have a 6 foot tall, 5 shelves bookcase. Yeah, Mark, I had two of those. Yeah, like 5 shelves. Might have even been an IKEA one. Well, I mean, look, didn't Freddie Got Fingered just get the Criterion treatment? You know, the best, I mean, the reason why that Armageddon one, that became like, that was one of the first, I feel like, Andy, I feel like that was the first movie that kind of got bigger because the internet kind of memed it and joked about it. And like, it was the butt of a lot of jokes until, or I don't know. It was also, yeah, I had that Criterion when it came out. Did I ever hear of any beefs with Image and Sam Keith? Never mentioned when they talk in the early days and the stories of Image coming together. I always wondered, well, because he was second wave. I don't know if there was a beef, but I think Sam was like an island unto himself. And I bet I could ask Kelly about this next time we chat. Um, I feel like that people just knew he was so talented, and because he was in Sacramento, I don't think he really was in the circle of a lot of those guys, as like a lot of those guys were living near each other, or talked a lot. I don't think there was a beef. There might have been a beef on like, because I think at one point Max was a little a little bit delayed in certain points, but I can't speak to that. I can definitely ask that question to Kelly, because Kelly would, Kelly would, it's like an open book, and it's not like I'm trying to cause any trouble. I was just interesting that you said that. I never really thought about it. We love Rip Torn. Even now that he passed, I only saw Jim Lee say something. Liefeld definitely said something, and I didn't see Todd say anything. Silvestri definitely posted about him. Larson posted about him. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if any of them had a relationship with him. I know that Sam, obviously, friends with Kelly Jones. I think he was friends with some of the Sacramento guys, like, Wayshack, and he probably knew. I don't know if he was friends with uh oh, what's his name? Tim Vigil. But Freddie Got Fingered is Daddy, would you like some sausage? That was the first. That was the fill-in issue. It was a great issue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Larson definitely mentioned him on Facebook and Threads, and Silvestri definitely posted about him on every social media that he's on. No, I haven't seen that, Trevor. I'll have to let's see. Jim Rugg Deadpool. No, did he just post it today? Or is that an old? Oh yeah, yeah, I haven't seen this. I'll get it on the screen for everybody. It's funny, Jim texted me just a little while ago. Share screen. Let's see. Is that zoomed in on here? Yeah, there we go. That's cool. And it's a revenge of. Will, you should pick this up. Everybody's making out except Deadpool. That shit's funny. Oh, that's good. Jim said something. Silvestri posted large. Yeah, so Ewok, you just missed all of it. Todd hasn't said anything. Well, I mean, right? Like I almost wanna post on like, I don't know, try and tag Todd. I think Todd should do a remastered Max figure. You know what was great about that? That was great about that figure. When the Max figure came out, remember the Spawn fish tank with the light, the display? I actually think that maybe that was packaged with the Max figure at one point, and the Izzes, I had that. That thing was so dope. No, I think I think when he left comics, and I think if Daryl's still in here, I know Daryl did a little research on him because he's been doing or has done the entire Peter David Hulk run. And I think Pervs might have gone into Jeff Purvis might have gone into design work. I'm not sure. I like his art. I like Jeff Purvis. Speaking of Todd figures, got a dope Hellboy. Yeah, I know. They just announced the Hellboy. He showed all the pictures off on Hellboy Day. It was pretty cool to see that. It'll be interesting to see where Todd goes once the DC license is done, which I think is at the end of this year. Or so. Yeah, Joe, I don't know if you follow Daryl's channel, Read Your Comics, but he did the whole Peter David run, and you get to see Purvis or Pervs, however you say it, you get to see him not only get better but get weirder. And there's a issue that I've always loved of that run, that it's like he goes into hell and it's like the thing, and it's such a. I think some of the art in that, we covered a story together. We covered one of those books. I forget which one it was. I love it. There he is, Raymar Brunson in the house, my nephew. Raymar gave Danny, who works at my LCS Stargazer, I had an extra copy of the first issue of Ghostman, and I gave it to him to read. I was like, "You're gonna love this," and sure enough, he loved it, and he wants more. So another happy Ghostman fan, Ghost fan, man. Jeff inked by Terry Austin and Mary Severin. That's two powerhouses. They won't sell, but I would love if Todd just keeps doing any comic figures as a replacement for DC stuff. Yes, I would love to see that. Madman figure, something. He wouldn't do a Grendel figure for reasons, but I'd love to see that. Yeah. I thought it was supposed to expire at the end of 2025, but yeah, I know. That's the thing. But he has said that it is expired. Like they keep talking about it. Who knows? Maybe they got an extension. Maybe they had an extension based on stuff that was in production. I remember that is where the Hulk becomes shrunken. Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're doing well. I know you got any cons coming up besides Heroes, right? You can be at Heroes, which I probably won't be at. Just come out here. I don't know. There's no con to come out here. Get me Madman, Tick, Scud, The Mask, Mr. Monster. I don't think any of those would look awful. I think they'd all look awesome. Just Heroes for now. We could be heroes just for one day. Yeah, a lot of homies are going to be at Heroes. I know Sam McClurg's going to be there. I'm sure all of the Cosmic Lion, or most of them, will be there. I'm sure Morgan Herron's going to be there. I think I'm going to take a break and I'll come back to Heroes next year. Because we could be heroes in 2027. I don't know. There you go. You win the no prize. But yeah, so that's it's a 2-hour show. I think we're good. Let's see, what does Trevor have to say? His new line of 1/6 statues are my favorite currently. Affordable statues are always welcome. He's been doing rival statues. Oh, that's cool. I should have bought the first Spawn statue he did. I thought that one was pretty badass. Glorian tried to enlighten Joe Fixit. He fought Satanish. Yes. That is I love the name of that character. I had the first appearance of him. I thought it was the funniest thing. Todd, when am I getting my deluxe Stardust Space Wizard figure? Let me call him up. Hey, bud. I don't know, bud. See, that was Todd. He just said he doesn't know. But yeah, I'm working on certain interviews for next season. I haven't booked anything yet, but I'm telling you that the next couple of interviews you're gonna love. But that season finale, the 100th episode with Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of the funniest things I've ever done, or one of the funniest things that we get to watch. I'm going to show a little preview image of it because I did. If you don't follow me on Threads, I'll show stuff for the podcast on there that I won't post anywhere else, just because it's good to build an audience on multiple social networks. Although I fucking hate it. I hate having to be on social media. I really do. I don't like it. But I need to grow my podcast, so damned if you do, right? But let me show the preview image of what you can expect from the Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction interview. This is just a moment that happens in it, but that's the kind of stuff that you can expect. So there you go. Thank you for being there, Andy. Thanks, Trevor. I recorded, you weren't here before when I talked about it, but I recorded a solo Patreon Direct Edition episode today. It's like 35 minutes of me talking. That's, I think, the place for those rants to go. But always looking for, I'm not going to do specific things. Like if you're like, Dave, you got to flip through this book. But if there's certain things that you want me to try, I'm always willing to try new styles or new kinds of videos and listen to anything. So you're always welcome to go on the Patreon and comment that, or we can even start a group chat on there too. Yes, yeah, I love Matt. Matt is oh man, I was never like, Fraction is somebody who for a long time all I had read was Sex Criminals of his, and that's my introduction to his writing for the most part, I think, and it was definitely my introduction to Chip. And now that I've read a lot of Fraction stuff and I'm loving the new Batman, absolutely loving it. Like he's got such an interesting style of writing. That Jimmy Olsen book I'm working through right now, and it's very much tongue in cheek, and he can do a little bit of everything. It's pretty amazing. And the Sex Criminals show starts shooting this summer. Neither of them are writing it, but they are, parts involved in just kind of, I guess, consulting on it. Oh, well, thank you, Trevor. I don't know if it's on your radar, but the Hellboy in Hell volume. Yeah, I know it did. And my LCS didn't get it. I don't even have the first one. But didn't his new hardcover came out today, didn't it? Mignola's new hardcover came out today, and I don't even think my store got it. I got to text my LCS owner, shout out to Damien at Stargazer, and see if he got it. If he did, I'll buy it. If not, I'll have him order it. Because Mignola released Bowling with Corpses last year, and that was a fun book. I mean, Mignola doing his own written horror anthology is like exactly what you want. Dude, Hellboy in Hell is arguably, I mean, I think that is, if not the best, one of the best Hellboy stories. And it's got those moments of just quiet, which is so, I think it's hard for most comic creators to make quiet moments in a book, but Mignola is one of the best at it, if not the best, especially with all the blacks that he uses. It's very interesting, the Hellboy in Hell. I want more Hellboy, but if we never get more Mignola Hellboy, that was a great way to end it. Speaking of ending it, I'm starting to get a little stuffy, talking a little too much. I think we'll close out the show. I want to say before we get going, obviously hit the like button. It does help. Thanks for being here. I will be back live selling next week. Oh, Derek, before we get going, Derek, I started thinking about ideas, but I'm gonna wait to plan it It'll probably hit, I'm hoping, by May or June. Probably a big party with a lot of guests. Uh, I think that's a great way to do it, but nothing yet planned. I'm gonna get through the next booking the next season of Direct Edition. So, but anyway, we're gonna get going. Hit the like button. New episode on this channel. New Direct Edition. If you haven't watched the Gary Groth interview, I'd appreciate you doing so. Suggest this channel to one of your friends. Let's get to 10K soon, so we can, I can have the 501st show up, and we'll just have stormtroopers here, except the fake ones, not ice. Appreciate you, brother. I read the first issue. I definitely want to catch up on it, but yeah, I wasn't like floored by it or anything. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Don't forget to donate to Chris Pierce, Comic Tropes' GoFundMe to help him out. It's in the description below. But I will be back next week with a big ass live sale, bringing you the books that either you don't know you want, or you do know you want, or you're just buying books because you like me. Anyway, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Read more comics. Eddie P forever.